Are you ready for the most disturbing, dark part of the real, original Snow White tale? The Grimm brothers? The story. The evil queen tried to off Snow White 3 times, not just one. It was a repetitive attempt on her life constantly. But the sick part is, Snow White was only 7 years old when all of this was going down. She wasn't like this. She was like this. This is who the evil queen feared. So let me continue the story from when we left off yesterday. Yesterday we left off that after so many attempts that the evil queen did on Snow White was now very reluctant on trusting anyone. So when this old woman came to her with this half of an apple, she didn't want it initially, but the evil queen thought this through, and she had only poisoned half of the apple while holding the other half, and she bit out of it before giving the poisonous part to Snow White. So Snow White takes the apple thinking, oh, well, she ate that part and must be good. Takes a bite and immediately drops. Third time's a charm, and the apple genuinely kills her, leaving the dwarfs heartbroken when they come home and find her corpse. The little dwarfs can't bring themselves to bury her, so they build a glass coffin for Snow White. Then they bring her to the mine so one of them can always be watching over her. Now fast forward again, and the prince, whose age is never specified, but he's over 30. The prince was over 30. This is how the prince meets Snow White. He's on this journey and he's coming back home. He, by accident, sees this glass coffin. So he goes in and he's like, what is this? And of course, the dwarfs are always watching over her. So the dwarfs tell him about what happened, and the prince offers to buy her. He offers the dwarfs money, but also the reassurance that such a beautiful girl should be in the palace where he can watch over her better than them. This whole thing is so creepy. So this over 30 prince sees this 7-year-old girl in a glass coffin, so she's not alive, guarded by dwarfs, and his first idea is, how much do you want for her, because I want to take her home, she's so cute. What? So the prince thinks she's beautiful and manages to convince the dwarf that she'll be better taken care of in his palace. And also they can visit whenever they want. One of the servants trips on a tree stump on their way to the palace. Now these men were carrying the glass coffin by hand. So when he falls, they all fall, the coffin falls, and basically the interaction, the disruption dislodges this piece of apple from Snow White's throat. Snow White wakes up, and the prince is so happy. He immediately proposed to her. She's 7. She's 7. It doesn't say that she grew up, so I don't know if it was a writer error not to say that maybe she grew up while sleeping in the don't know. But the story goes that she's 7, he's over 30, and he proposes to her upon her awakening. So Snow White says yes, and whether or not she's aged during the death is unclear. Let's just hope that she was a teenager. Okay. At the royal wedding, and invitations to the wedding were sent to all of the royals, including one to the wicked queen, that was so angry that Snow White was still alive that she decided to show up. But here's the kicker. Guess what the prince and Snow White hadn't planned for her? They forced her into a pair of iron shoes that had been heated up over a fire. And upon the evil queen's arrival, they put those shoes on her and made her dance until she was no more. The end of the true Snow White story. Wow. I don't know you, but I kind of liked it.